You can see that far?
I mean, he has lost a lot of weight, and I can still see his belly.
I'm joking.
$20 or something.
If I stop eating, I'd probably.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely phenomenal. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to thank you all for attending Edwards Town Council meeting Monday, September 9th, 2024. Do a roll call. Mr. Bryant? Here. Ms. Sweet?
Here.
Ms. Buck?
Here.
Ms. Brooks?
Here.
Also with us is Ms. Barrett, our treasurer, Mr. Myers, town manager, and Mr. Huddleston, town attorney. The minutes of council meeting, August 26, 2024.
If there are no corrections or discussion, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for August 26, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All abstain? No vote? All right, claims, Ms. Barrett?
Right, there were two sets of claims. There's one for the end of the month of June in the amount of $201,486.20. And then the claim docket for tonight in the amount of $314,641.94.
Any questions, council?
I didn't have any questions, did you?
There are no questions on the claims. I'll make the motion to approve the claims.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this is a first reading only. Just that is what it is. No party will speak on either side. Ordinance 2024-15, approving plan commission resolution 2024-03, rezoning. First reading only, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a first reading only. It's a proposed ordinance approving the Plan Commission's resolution. This is on a rezoning. How this works is we do introduction of the ordinance only at this meeting. The next meeting, which will be the second September meeting, that'll be a public hearing where you have the petitioner give an opportunity to make a presentation. Any person against the ordinance would have a chance to speak as well in the audience. And then you could ask questions to staff as well and vote on the ordinance at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Huddleston. Same thing with ordinance 2024-16, approving planning commission resolution 2024-4, rezoning. First reading.
Same, Mr. President, again, just introduction only. Next meeting we'll have the presentation, availability to ask staff questions, and anybody against can also state in the public hearing.
Thank you. All right, resolution 2024-24, temporary loan from rainy day to sewage operating. Ms. Barrett.
The sewage operating fund is seeking a temporary loan from the rainy day fund to cover costs associated with the sewer lining project, as well as some recent repairs and improvements. This loan is set up to be paid back over a 2-month period. Typically, it's paid back by the end of the year, but they need it to be extended longer. And there will be monthly transfers from the sewage fund to the rainy day fund.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-24, the temporary loan from the rainy day to the sewage operating fund.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Bob, Bill, what's the latest on your new back truck and the one we're putting on GovDeals.com?
I believe everything's ready to be posted on GovDeals, but I don't know that that's actually been done yet. And I'm not sure on the new back truck.
They said usually 30 days before it's ready to ship, they'll call with the VIN number, and he's expecting that anytime.
All right, are they gonna come out and do on-site training with you guys on that one?
Yes, up to 24 hours.
Okay.
So
Great.
once we get it here and get figured out, then you'll come down 3-4 days and do it.
And the other one's back from Cincinnati, correct, and fixed,
Everything's
and
back, working good, been burning it up, so.
Yeah.
okay, Westler invoice 44925 for water treatment plant, Ms. Barrett.
All right, invoice from Westler, in the amount of $433, for work for the water treatment plant. Bill has reviewed and okayed that invoice, so we need the council's approval to submit for payment and approval for Ryan to sign.
Ryan, or Rhonda, when that contract balance indicates that 77, 2 or 300 up there, is this coming off of that, or is that up at the top? Oh, see that contract balance? I thought these were gonna be dwindling down, right, Bill?
Yeah, and that $342 or whatever it was from whenever they had the internet glitch or whatever happened there a month or two ago.
Oh, that's what this is?
That's where they had to come down and figure out why I didn't have no control of the plant. And
So
it's
that's
all-
really not got anything to do with that?
It's part of the plan, it's part of that fund that they have, but the more we do, we'll take out of it, until we have a meeting scheduled with them on the 16th, I believe, to discuss final monies that are left over to spend and then figure out.
And that's where this is coming from, is still that? Okay. Any questions? No. Make a motion to approve Westler invoice 44925 in the amount of $432.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, donation to the K-9 fund, Ms. Barrett.
Okay, motion for Ryan to sign that as well.
Motion to, make a motion to approve for Ryan Bishop to sign the Westler invoice number 44925 for the water treatment plant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, Rhonda, you just told us that.
We didn't listen in there.
Nope, we did
That's
not.
okay.
Let's try the donation to the K-9 on that.
Alrighty, we received 2 donations for the K-9 fund, totaling $350, so we just need a motion to accept those donations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Rhonda, you're on the roll here. Baker Tilly budget 2025, scope of work.
All right, I had reached out to Baker Tilly prior to the start of the budget process and asked for their assistance. And, just this afternoon, they sent me the, scope of work and agreement, so I just need the council's approval and for me to sign it, or if Dustin needs to look over it or anything, what, you know.
Rhonda did give it to me, but I had a chance to look at it, so you could approve it subject to legal review.
Well, better do then. We have a chance. Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Rhonda, you're off the hook. All right, NDOT land acquisition, Mr. Myers.
Thank you, Mr. President. You recall last year, last month, Mr. Huddleston presented a land acquisition from NDOT for US 31 and 800 North. The property the town owns there, you have a lift station, water lines there. You had requested Mr. Huddleston to research to see if we had to get appraisals on the property. According to Mr. Huddleston, we do not have to at this time. They're offering $11,900 for a small portion for the road improvements. They'd like to put in a turn lane there going northbound.
We have no utilities there, right, guys?
Water mains in there and the lift station.
But we can still maintain our right-of-way access.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't see a problem with it at all. Better than him taking it out.
Right.
Right.
I'd recommend Mr. Huddleston review all this.
Yeah, they, part of the acquisition, they sent documents to acquire right of way, so if you're willing to accept their proposal, first step, I'd say just authorize me to review the documents and I can have them ready for the next meeting. If you're okay with the amount. As Mr. Myers explained, you could get the property appraised to see if that's a fair amount, but appraisal gonna cost you $2,000 to $3,000. You're not required to.
Still tentatively budgeting on their offer to do that.
It'll do a little bit sometimes, but it's just up to you guys if you want to get an appraisal.
Ryan, I think it's better that they're at least going to give, not take, so.
This is gonna be a great piece for us. This is something that we asked back, with Dan Cartwright back in the day, so we could get a stoplight there. Because
Right.
right now the semis are pulling out, the rear end of that 53-foot trailer's there. So the sooner we can get in, the better off that we're gonna be.
Kind of had some accidents there as well, too.
We've had a couple semi-accidents, thank God, no fatals, but it's something that we're gonna need, and the trucking industry is only gonna keep growing down there.
Sure.
I make a motion to have Town Council Attorney Mr. Huddleston review the NDOT land acquisition proposal as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
And just one more item on there. If you remember, Mr. Myers said we had a time issue to get back to them on this offer. I had contacted NDOT soon after the last council meeting, got a 30-day extension, so we have to.
Yep, all right.
All right, Ms. Drysdale, Holiday Lights building permissions, please.
Good evening, council. I have kind of a strange request tonight. So we have a policy where no alcoholic beverages are allowed in our public buildings or our public parks. A few years ago, we had the 38th Infantry Band come in, and we had Mallow Run and I believe it was Taxman come. And so for that concert, so I came to the council and asked for permission for us to be able to have alcoholic beverages in Irwin Park at that time. Long story short, Irwin flooded, we had to go to the parking lot, so we had to get that permit changed to Bartholomew County at that time. But what I'm coming with tonight is to actually ask for permission to host an event at the community center with Swine and Dine Event and Catering out of Columbus. As a fundraiser for our Holiday of Lights, they will be doing a pairings class, kind of a holiday hosting. And so it is not, no one will be drinking full glasses of anything. It's just tastings and pairings over a couple hours with food. But we had originally planned to do this at Timbergate and then found out that because both of them have liquor licenses, there's no way for them to host it at. And I still don't understand. I put out a call to the county rep with the ATC to ask about that, but I haven't heard back yet. But from what I understand, we cannot host it at Timbergate just because of liquor licensing issues. So I'm asking for permission that we host this in November at the community center.
That's I had two questions about that, Sarah Beth. That liquor license, is it even gonna be an issue if you have it there? Do you still have to try to obtain, or you say the people that are doing the event?
Yes, the people that are doing the event have a
They
liquor
have
license
proper-
and a catering license,
Okay.
yes.
Question number two, do you think it warrants having police officers at the event, or is it something?
I know, this will be a very set down, classy event, so
Okay.
it won't be.
That's all
Swinging any.
No.
It won't be as crazy as the fall festival.
Okay.
How many people are you planning to have?
36. Yeah, if we sell out, it will be 36.
I personally don't have a problem with it then.
I don't have an issue.
So do we need an actual motion for that?
I make a motion that we allow the community center to have a liquor during the Swine and Dine event.
Second?
All in favor?
All right, thank you.
Sarah Beth, I just recommend you get a hold of our insurance carrier,
Okay.
get a one-day policy.
Okay.
They should be able to.
And have them add Town of Bedford to that, their current insurance. Okay, I can do that. All right, thank you.
All right, the Challenge Plastics electric rate discussion. If I'm wrong in pronouncing this, I'm sorry. Is it Ms. Warden?
Yes. Good evening. I'm here because I would just like to call it to your attention, I guess to request some reprieve from the electrical rate increases that we just received. A couple of months ago, I sent a document ahead of the meeting in your packets over the weekend, so hopefully you had a little bit of time to review the background information. But essentially, I'm here because we received a very large increase in our rate, and it was given to us without notice. So it is a compounded issue because of no notice and the size of the increase. And I'm happy to, this is a really complex calculation and a lot of data to look at and understand, and I'm sure that all of that was reviewed before the increases were considered. But I have data that's been graphed and I can show you exactly what we're paying for and what we're paying for that we're not receiving. And I think that we are a case that maybe should be looked at individually. I'd like to ask for a delay in the increase or a sliding scale on that increase. And further to that, I would like to propose a new calculation for a case such as ours. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have or provide information, but I don't want to consume a lot of time with irrelevant details. And I assume everyone is familiar with the ordinance that was passed to increase the electrical rates.
Yes.
I have a question. Why do you think we should look at you differently?
I don't necessarily think you should look at us differently, but I'm the person standing here calling it to your attention. And instead of representing everyone, I'm gonna represent myself. And if there are other people who fall into our same case, then I'm happy to look at the analysis and talk on behalf of anyone else who would like to provide me with their private business information or their data.
Stephen, have you had a chance to, are you familiar with this situation at all?
I'm familiar with the increase in the usages, but beyond any circumstance, I mean, they're in a rate category with, like I say, 20 some other businesses that are in the same box, for lack of a better term. Beyond that, I don't know any details of their operations other than usages and what information I'm here to.
So a little bit of a history, I think, for this is the town was absolutely hemorrhaging money, being the best way to describe that, and the taxpayers were picking up the dime for that.
Okay.
This was brought to light because it probably should have happened long time ago. I can't give you a time because I don't know what the time was, prior to my time. Stephen and his organization, and I think Alpha, maybe Baker Tilly, there was multiple involved. This wasn't a whim, hey, we're gonna do this. But we realized we were losing a lot of money and the community was losing a lot of money. So that was the backstop. I think that's important to know. This wasn't as a profitable gain for the town. This was how do we try to get even? And that's where we're at, Steve. We're not excelling in money. We're trying to kind of break even with where we're at. And like he said, I think yourself, your organization, and 19 others kind of fell into that box. And I think probably what would be best is, because you said something about that you're paying for electricity that you're not receiving. Did I hear that correctly?
So, and Stephen can comment to this if I misstate it, because I have taken a crash course in electrical rates and how they're calculated over the last few days. But basically, you look at 15-minute increments all month long. And you take that highest 15-minute period that we use electricity during, and we are charged for that for the entire month. So essentially what happens is if I show up in my business at the moment that our meter clicks over to the next billing period, turn on all the equipment, and then turn it off 30 minutes later, and don't come back for a month, my bill will be $6,000.
Stephen, is there merit to that statement?
Yes and no. The meters capture information every 15 minutes, but it's actually a 30-minute demand cycle. But her analysis is somewhat accurate. There's two portions to this particular rate class. There is your demand portion, and then there is your energy consumption, your kilowatt hours. Your kilowatt hours is basically how much kilowatts you use over the month. It's a consumed, kind of like water flowing through it. You can measure it in gallons. The demand is how quick they're using it. And it falls in line with how we are built from INPA. We have the same structure, we are built on the same structure from INPA. So they do the same thing to us where they're monitoring, basically how many amps and the demand that the whole system is putting in there. So it's a very similar structure. You know, the reasoning behind the demand charge is because all your infrastructure and all the other stuff needs to be capable of providing that. You know, it's not that the whole bill would be gone, but your demand portion is based on that. It's actually an hour, average over 30 minutes.
Could I ask a question?
Certainly.
On this analysis that you gave us, the numbers to the right says minus 44.
That was.
I don't think that's, yeah.
That's you?
That's not
That's Steve?
just child's play.
Okay, I would like to talk to you about that sometime.
I can give you a visual, but I'm not sure without spending a lot of time how effective it will be. But what this represents are our billing months, and the squiggly lines are our usage. And the line across the top is what we're being billed at. And then, so when you're seeing all of this white space in here, we're being billed for the rate portion of our bill, which is where the biggest portion of our increase was for that demand level. So it was, as I stated to begin and Stephen reiterated, this is the line where we hit a peak and it's our 30-minute interval. We only have to hit that peak for 30 minutes. And then we have cases like what has happened this month. We're manually managing all this now. We come in, we try to decide which machines to run that won't take us too high. My brother actually made a mistake last week and took us to a really high peak. And you can see that we've stayed under it the rest of the days, but we're still going to have to pay for that. And so ultimately what it's going to result in for us is we're going to start outsourcing just probably anything that requires too much electricity, because it's not sustainable for us and it's not affordable at the price structures that we've passed on to our customers. And as I stated in the document I prepared for you, we sell commodities, so we have to be price competitive. And I mean, that's basically the story. And what I would like to see is a calculation for the rate that's based, instead of on our peak demand for 30 minutes during a month, something that's more like our average demand, or something that seems to be more in keeping with what we're actually using.
The issue with doing something like that, and I'm not aware of any utility that does something of that nature. Every utility does it on a sliding window, just like we do.
Okay.
Some will do it on 15 minutes, some will do it on 30. 30 minutes actually to your advantage because it averages 2 minutes.
Right. Absolutely.
The problem with averaging it would be that we, as a utility provider, are built on a 30-minute window. So if we average that, it don't matter when it happens. It usually happens at some point, sometime between 1 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when it's the hottest, and every factory's in production. It seems to hit that window. But whenever we hit our peak, that's how we are built. So if you did an average, we would be back in the same boat, but we're not recovering what we have to pay INPA, which is our provider, for these demand charges.
Okay.
So an average would not work.
I think comparatively to the surrounding, not for your business obviously, but we were still cheaper than the other REMCs and the Dukes of the world, correct? If I do remember that.
Yes, the difference you'll get into with some of the RMCs and some of the Dukes is they have more buckets or different buckets, different categories that people fall into. But the actual cost per I mean, our kilowatt hours, I think I was telling Mary, my personal at my house is 2 cents a kilowatt hour more than what people in town pay. You know, the demand charges are very similar, same type of thing.
So you were asking tonight for us basically to look as this case for Challenge Plastics. I guess I want to make sure that what you're asking the council to do, because I don't want to speak for you.
No, that's fine, I'm happy to clarify. I would like for you to consider giving us either a sliding increase to the point we're at now, retroactive to when we received it, up to January of 2025, or a smaller increase overall.
One, I'll be honest with you, I don't know that we can do that. Dustin will have to look, because it would be specific to your organization. I don't know, there's things that have been asked of the town, whether it be adjustment on a water bill per case, and we couldn't do that. I don't know the answer to that. That's what we pay him the money for. And I think council needs to think about what would be the course of action to do for that. It's not that we don't want to support local business, but we want to be fair across the board for every business.
I understand.
And then we also don't want to keep losing money.
I understand that as well. Yeah.
And you would understand it.
Well, I do. I've showed you my picture now. You're not losing money, but I am. So that's the, that's the give and take,
I
I
think it's a
guess.
shared where you guys had a budget, and obviously your budget didn't allocate for that increase.
No.
And we had our budget and we were losing out of our budget. So, and we're in a sense the same as that we're a business, just as you guys are. We're just a service business, right? So we have to do what's right for everybody, including yourself and everybody in the community. So I think it would be best if it's okay with council to take it under advisement. We'll look into what needs to be done.
Okay, and is there someone I should follow up with, or how?
Mr. Blair's will be your point of contact.
Okay. Very
Can I ask one question? I'm with Beacon Industries. We got the same problem. Is it that you're trying to recoup what you've lost, or we're just trying to flatline it until you don't lose any more money? That's, you know.
We, historically, the demand, we've been paying almost 3 times what we've been selling for.
Okay, but, I mean,
So,
we are just trying to recoup what you're getting, or we're just trying to?
We're not trying to recoup.
Okay.
By any means.
Okay. That's one of the big things, our bill's gone up, like, it was.
And it goes back to the demand, it goes back to the demand portion. We have been paying substantially more than we have been charging our demand customers for years.
So it's almost double, unfortunately.
And that's it in a nutshell. We've been paying more than what we've been actually charging the consumer.
Interest rates can increase.
I mean, I worked in Indianapolis, you know, so we got the IPL, what's not Duke, and not come down here. And I lived in Mooresville, so I've had RMC versus that. I mean, so I understand that it's just, for our company, it's a big increase.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I think it should be noted that all town departments pay electric bills too.
Yes.
I mean, we're not exempt from paying electric bills, or water bills, or sewer bills. So that rate is also affecting
All of us
the town.
in the town.
Thank you.
Good point, John.
Habitat for Humanity donation request, Mr. Plank.
It's not Dan, it's me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I saw the shirt, but I'm like, maybe.
I'm Leanne Wilbur, I'm the executive director for Habitat, so, we met here 2 weeks ago, and we just wanted to ask the council to, reimburse our permits and, fees for the house that we're building on, South Pleasant Street. And I passed out a paper to all of you the last time, I don't think it was
still got it, still have it. And just so you know, our house build officially starts on Wednesday, so if you're in town, come by and see us.
You do know where the festival starts.
I know.
Yeah. Well, from the paperwork that I was given, and I'm sure the rest of the council got it as well, it looks like that the last house you built on Walnut Street, we had copies or proof that the variance fee to start the project rolling, that filing fee was waived, and then the building permit fee. But other than that, nothing else, it didn't look like could be produced. Now, on this one, it looks like that Mr. Jones, with the water department, says there is an existing water meter pit there, so that, therefore, a new water tap would not be necessary. I personally would be in favor of, if the council would agree with me, to waive the building permit fee, but, and I don't know, I think there should probably be discussion on that water tap, and then we'll go from there. But the other two, I'm not in favor of the waiver.
The other thing, I'm not sure, if you guys are aware, but there used to be a house there, and we tore it down, I don't know, it's been several years ago. And apparently, did you guys put new sewer lines in? Because
What now?
put new sewer lines in down through there, there's not,
Not that I
they
know.
did not replace a lateral to the property.
It says a new sewer tap will be necessary for this home,
So
right?
we're having
Yeah,
to
the
pay.
issue was, we determined that the property that was there probably drained to an adjacent property. That's the only thing we can come up with, because there is no service tap for that specific lot. But there was something past the boundary in the parking lot of the next lot. So we think that they drained to the apartment complex to the south of them, which is not allowed anymore. So that was probably cut off at the time when the house was demolished.
Is there still a clean out there or anything?
No, there's no clean out, it's probably capped, I would guess, there's no clean out, but there's no service tap for that.
Yeah, so we're gonna be paying, I think, between $12,000 and $14,000 just to get that lateral put in. So, I didn't know if you guys were aware of that.
So Bill, there will need to be a new water tap?
No, there's an existing meter pit there.
Okay, so we can deduct the 900 from what you're asking. Right, I mean, is that,
Yeah, but
That's
there's
what
no
he's-
reason to do a tap, then yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's, the saving right there for those two would be, not quite, would be about $11.50 savings on, the totals at the $34.57. So those two savings, I mean, not quite half, but
Are you talking about the
the
building?
building permit fee and the water tap fee.
How about the utility deposit account center?
I personally, I mean, I'm not in favor of waiving it, that or the sewer. I'm in favor of waiving the building permit fee and the water tap fee. Because like I said, we have proof of where that building permit fee was waived on the last project, and that variance filing fee. And then there's nothing mentioned in there about those utility fees at all that we could find. So,
Ron, did you know if we've ever waived a utility deposit or sewer tap or any of that?
I don't know that we've ever waived a sewer tap. Deposits, possibly. I can't recall a particular incident, but the Sarah Councilman that we have done something like this.
Is the utility deposit going in the builder's name or in the homeowner's name?
Habitat starts out with it, and then when we close on the property, it's in their
So
name.
the deposits are refundable.
so
The new property owner would have to pay a deposit to get their
it
services.
will roll on into their mortgage. Is
So
that what these costs
the
do?
deposits are refundable, provided that all balances are paid. Am I correct, Rhonda?
Yeah, because the deposit, if it's in your name, if it's in Habitat's
It's in
name,
Habitat's name.
the deposit's in Habitat's name, the utility bill's in Habitat's name, the final utility bill, those deposits would be applied to, and any remainder would be refunded to Habitat. and then the homeowner would need to pay their own deposits.
Oh, that 315, is that what you're referring?
Yeah,
315.
that utility, yeah.
Keep going, you guys are doing great.
So we'll just add
So
the
we-
$2,000 sewer tap.
Yeah, so we have to keep the 315 on file
That's fine.
until
You
your
get it
utility
back.
bill's finaled out. So, and that 315 will pay your final bill.
I think that's what happened with the Boyer's house.
Okay.
Yes, we got a check for
Which
that.
that's,
Yeah, so you will get
There's
a
a
portion of that back.
Did we increase that a couple years ago?
yeah, we had to because that was a dated number. And then inherently, anytime we tap into a sewer, especially if it's clay tile or anything else, we run a big risk of splitting that pipe further down, creating a huge problem. And that's probably clay tile, if I'm thinking right.
Possibly. I can't remember if that was a section that was lined or not, but it originally was definitely clay tile.
And just digging there, it's brittle in itself, we inherit more risk by digging there, that type of material too.
Yeah, and
So
it's probably around 7 feet, 7 to 8 feet, so it's fairly deep.
we're gonna need shoring in there too. Just the amount of work and risk, I hate to not, I gotta agree with Ms. Rooks on that. I mean, we've been able to really take everything out with exception of the sewer tap. I think that's more than fair. I don't know that since I've been a member of the board that we've ever done it for anybody, so to do that, to just that amount, I think is fair on both parties, since we're actually going above what we did for the house on Walnut Street next to Horizon, I believe.
It is, it's right.
So I think we're already,
Did we waive anything for that house?
That's what I just told. We
Yeah.
waived the various fees, the flat for them to be able to build there. And then we waived that we actually have paperwork from the building permit fee. Yeah. And that was the only two
That's all I
pieces
have
of
that week.
credentials that I had.
I don't have any receipts or anything for anything else that we paid.
So, and I'll go along with that as well. I do think that sewer tap does need to be left in there, so.
there's just a lot of risk for the town to tap into any old line. I think if that's what council desires, I think we're trying.
You're all entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah, I
just stand
personally
alone.
would like to see it waived, because it's
What waived?
the sewer tap.
We'll take a vote then and roll
Can I
call
just
on
say
it.
one more thing? This is our 5th house down here in Edinburgh, and just so you guys, I know you guys know this, I'm preaching the choir, but you know, when we do build a house down here, it does add property taxes to your tax roll. So I went back and I looked up 4 of our houses, and just last year we paid almost $4,500 in property taxes from the houses that we built down here. So we are giving back to the economy of Edinburgh. I will say, we love building in Edinburgh. It's a great community, and we just appreciate you guys being part of us.
Is there a standard for the homes to be kept once they have been released to the individual that?
Once we build a home and we have a closing on it, we become a lender. And so our role changes. It's no different than Wells Fargo or Bank of America. We hold the mortgage. It is up to them to pay their mortgage, as long as they pay their mortgage. You know, I had
That's what
somebody.
it is.
Yeah, I will tell you, I had one of the houses that we built, and it was a single mom, and as soon as we built the house, the boyfriend moved in, and I was getting calls, and I'm like, I can't control who your neighbors are, I
Yeah.
can't control the ones that, at that point, because we are a lender at that
Their
point.
chain of custody stops once they.
Yes, we can train them, we can hope, we can, you know, love on them and do everything that we do with them and hope that they do the best. And most of them do. On occasion, there are 1 or 2 that kind of fall through the cracks and don't adhere to what we want them to do, but we try our best.
Did you come before the council, or do you remember coming before the council, the 108, is it 108 North Walnut?
We did. The council
For
was
all of
different
this,
than
or
this.
just parts of
Yeah.
it, or?
It was in a longer room. You guys
I'm
remember?
sorry.
We used to sit over there. when it was-
Yeah, I remember being in that room. That was back in 2000.
But you asked for the same thing.
And we did, and I think we had to get a variance because of something over there with the parking lot.
Mhm, it
I
was.
don't exactly, Eric Prime was
I came
there
to that
with us.
meeting, yes, Eric Prime
Eric
was
Prime
there.
was there, he's our attorney, our legal counsel, so he was there at that meeting with us, so, I'm sorry, that's all I can remember. I'm old.
Only caution I would say is once we do it once, but
It's
just
gonna
open it
continue.
up that whatever we do sets a precedence for the future. I say that caution to that. It's not to bring up a sore subject, but it's also the same with challenge plastics, which I understand in her case is when we have to look at it, we have to look at it completely fair and unbiased across the board. So when you make a decision, it does affect the future. So, but we know that. That's why we're here and we're trying to make the right decisions for the future. So we'll do a roll call. I guess we'll do a vote and then we'll do a roll call. I think that's the best way to do it. So,
And just to tee it up, what fees are you voting on?
thank you. Let's get to that. Get me to it. Waiving the sewer tap, and you were wanting to waive the
Building permit.
They want, Debbie would like it
all
all
four
waived.
waived. Okay.
Well, the water tap is not needed, and they're going to get the utility deposit back, so we wouldn't have to waive that. It would just be waiving the building permit and the sewer tap.
We still have to waive it though, right? It's still considered a charge.
No, it will
No.
stay on file until they get the
The
final.
water tap fee,
Yeah.
No, the,
The utility deposit.
she's
just
just,
deposit.
Yeah, the utility deposit.
But if they don't need a water tap, then that fee would be refunded to them.
And that's, so there is a deposit on the water, right?
Yeah, because all of this has already been paid then, Leanne?
Yes.
Okay. So there would, what would happen is if they don't need the water tap, that would be refunded and the meter deposits would be refunded after their final bill. Once the house is finished and they got, Habitat gets their final bill, then they get that meter deposit back.
so I can make a motion to just waive the sewer tap fee. No, I'm sorry, not the sewer, the building, to leave the sewer tap fee.
Yeah, I guess that's one motion that's on the table. Yeah, I think there's, and then, yeah, we'll do a roll call.
I have a question. Does every house we build have these same fees? So if you build a house, you have to have the sewer tap, the water tap. So these are just the normal fees that would be for any houses built in town, correct?
That's correct.
Even, yes.
So first you need a motion for somebody to waive one or two of the fees, you gotta be specific, someone's gotta second that, then you can do the roll call.
I make a motion to waive for the Habitat for Humanity request, the building permit fee in the amount of $242.16, the water tap fee in the amount of $900, and the utility deposit and account setup fee for $315. The sewer tap fee for $2,000 remains as to be paid.
Second.
Now, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Bryant,
You say yay.
Yay.
Ms. Sweet?
Yay.
Ms. Bug?
Nay.
Ms. Rooks?
Yay.
I'm yay. 4-1. So everything is waived with the exception of the sewer tap fee.
All right, thank you so much. And again, if
Sounds like
you're-
you're gonna get some money back too, so
That's
that's.
awesome. If you're in the area, please come by and see us, and when we get the house done, I think our last scheduled volunteer build day is October 31st, and we'll probably be closing on it probably around the 1st of December, and I'll send you guys an invitation, and you're all invited to come over to our dedication, and you get to walk through the house, so
No, I
please try to attend.
nay because
Because you wanted it all.
I wanted it all.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Other business, Mr. Bryant, anything?
Good.
Ms. Sweet?
I know he's not here, but I want to thank Wayne. He gave me a long tour of the golf course, and that is a gem in my community. And I was really excited. I could see what I don't see otherwise. I want to thank him first.
Ms. Bug?
Nope, nothing tonight.
Ms. Rooks?
Sarah Beth, where are we on the removing of the building at the medical property?
So I was told mid last week, that JMH had contacted the party that was going to take the building, and they were going to get together on Friday to sign some documents, show proof of insurance, and for him to be able to get the key so he could take a look inside and see what was left, because they also told him the contents of the building were his to remove as well. So he was trying to figure out what he was actually gonna be working with. So we haven't had a chance to connect, yet today, so that's the latest I know. I don't know if Dustin has any more information from JMH, but that was the last I heard.
I have drafted a proposed purchase agreement and sent it to JMH's attorney.
Will that hinder anything for your upcoming, all your like from October basically on that you were wanting to do? Can you still do that ice rink down there?
Yes, we're actually thinking about moving the rink to where the building is because it's full of pea gravel on the bottom, which would actually help with leveling, outside, because we were thinking we may even have to bring some sand in to help level in the parking lot if it wasn't gonna work, so, it may be actually advantageous for us.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Myers, anything?
Only thing is the opiate grants, the commissioners are gonna release them, I believe the 16th of this month. What the guidelines are, getting the chief, the fire, or police chief, fire chief, coming up with some ideas to apply for these grants.
Fantastic, thank you. Ron, do you have anything else? Dustin?
No, sir.
Chief Little, got anything?
Just planning for, all week and hoping Sunday gets here really fast. Other than that, we've got a game plan together with all the other departments I've talked to, including all the way through the day with Clark on blocking off everything, so I think that we're good to go. We've come up with a couple extra safety features. John Myers and I went and we talked about how everything sets after we came up with, we're gonna be using some dump trucks just for some reinforcement for the actual parade to block off areas, just to ensure that everybody can get around it or do the best that we can. So talked to the staff today on that and we're ready to go.
Thank you. Steve, got anything else? Nope. Bob?
No.
Julie?
No, sir.
Bill?
Yeah, I got one thing.
You always
Dustin asked me to bring it up.
Blame Dustin.
So down the town, where Al Gelfius lives there, just south of Edmondson Darby, we have a water main that goes all the way around his property on both sides. And anybody that builds down there, we provide them with water. So Al called the other day, wanted to know if he could hook into the city water. I don't know what the answer to that is, so I presented it to Ryan and Dustin said he needed you guys to give permission to let him research that. Because it's not in our, annexed in, but yet it's in our water district.
Does he want a 1-inch surface? What's he want out there?
He just wants water, so he didn't know for sure if he would do it or not, he just wanted to know where permission for that before he went any further. So, I don't really know, I know like, across from my house, those houses are not in town, so they can't have water service, and they've got 12-inch main in front of their house. But down there, he's in that area where if somebody builds all the way around him, we're gonna give him all water. He just wanted to know if he can have water or not. So we gotta get, I need to know what the answer to that is, and Dustin said he needs to research.
How in depth is the research gonna be, Dustin?
I think it's a paying customer.
Yeah, I mean, life is still way,
Absolutely. He's gonna pay the connection fee, the
He's
tap
gonna
fee.
pay all that.
Yeah, which we know now is $900. Depending if it's a 5/8 service.
Yeah, 3/4 servers or 1 inch, between 9 and 1100.
Yeah.
If you want to inch and a half, it's time and material, so it could be up to $5-6 grand.
So we just need to make a motion for Dustin to do the research. Make a motion for, council attorney Huddleston to research the, water connection for Hal Gelfius on US 31 property.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Bill. Sarah Beth?
Well, the Edinburgh State Fair is promised. I do have, if anyone in public as well in your place of business would like to order the Lions Club lunch, I have order forms that you can take back to your business. The schedule of events is on the town website, so if you're just on the homepage, we've got a Around Your Town, there's a fall festival button. So it has all 4 days of everything that's going on. We have our opening ceremony at 4:30 on Wednesday. And then we have a band Friday night and a band Saturday night, from 7 to 9 and 6 to 9. And so it looks like it's gonna be great weather, just hoping we make it through again. Then we are, we're still very much ahead of schedule with our Holiday of Lights. As of right now, I think we have $7,500 in sponsorships for the Holiday of Lights. And so we're just plugging away. The back hallway of the community center is just a clash of holidays right now. We've got our scarecrows, we've got Christmas trees, and Kathy Ham has been working hard. We've got our Scarecrow Madness that is it started now, so you can order your scarecrow kits up until the 23rd of this month. And we're doing a business and individuals this year, so that's going on. And we just got all kinds of stuff going on, but it's all online. So if you got any questions, please let me know.
Your report was impressive, Sarah Beth.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, and none of the other stuff that was on there that I didn't talk about.
Good job.
Thank you, Sarah Beth.
Thanks.
Open up the public comment, if there are any, please state your name and your address for the record. All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for attending.